Well, Sara, lovely to see you again, meeting in person for the first time.
Thanks, Jason. I'm so excited you're here, and I can't believe you made it all the way out here to sunny Southern California.
I love California, and thank you for inviting me to your beautiful office here. I know a lot of people who watch Crowdsource the Truth are sort of against California because it's like a communist dictatorship and all that. Yeah. But I still love it. I lived in California for a while, and offices are much nicer than they are in New York, and the sunlight coming in and everything. This is a very healthy environment, obviously. It's nice and quiet here. And for people who maybe missed the first episode where you appeared with Ole Damagard on Light on Conspiracies, you have a line of healthy supplements, and you've transformed your health and your family's health. Give us a quick overview, and then we'll talk about some of these supplements, how you prepare them, how you take them, and what they can do for people.
Well, to start, like I was telling you earlier, I did not think I was going to get into business. I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I have 3 kids, and I was just doing my thing as a mom and carpooling and all of that fun stuff. Mm-hmm. But my health issues and my family's health issues really dove me into natural solutions. I was forced, essentially. Mm. I had personally, I was on the verge of Crohn's disease, a lot of digestive issues, hormonal issues. They were totally out of whack.
Do you know what caused that, Crohn's?
Yes, eating all the wrong foods. I mean, here we were growing up in a society that said eat a low-fat, high-carb diet.
Right.
So I lived off of frozen yogurt and bagels and fruit and no fat chicken on salads, and thought that was all healthy. I did from the very get-go know that bread never felt really, or at least into my 20s it started to not feel good, so I stayed away from gluten
kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that that's because of your body and your digestion, or the overuse of glyphosate on wheat to desiccate it?
Both.
Yeah.
I don't believe that humans are meant to eat gluten, even if you're not have a strong allergy to gluten. Most people have a hard time breaking it down.
And we're definitely not meant to eat glyphosate.
No, so definitely not.
You see, the Monsanto guy didn't want to drink the glass of it.
So it causes leaky gut, and when you talk about leaky gut, what happens is imagine your gut lining is like a fishnet. And every time you take in toxins, pesticides, glyphosate, gluten, even just sugar, it causes holes into that fish line, that fish net, essentially. Wow. And so when then you're eating your healthy kale salad, it's those particles are getting into your bloodstream, and your body says, "Oh my gosh, what is this? I don't know what this is. I'm going to have a huge autoimmune inflammatory response." And for someone like me, it then turned into digestive issues, IBS, Crohn's disease. For someone else, it might be arthritic pain or headaches, brain fog. For others, it could be an imbalance in their hormones, female or male hormones, or even just a lack of serotonin, dopamine, GABA. All of those hormones are made in your gut. So when someone says, "I have anxiety and it's coming out of nowhere and I don't know what to do about it," well, 95% of your serotonin is made in the gut. So you heal the leaky gut, you heal 95% of your health issues. So back to my story a little bit is with my kids. My son was nine years old, and he was on the verge of leukemia. So that's when I had a big red flag and said, I need to stop my life in the direction it's going.
Must have been devastating.
And it was just awful. He was just this innocent kid that just didn't want to go to school anymore.
How did you first identify that? So he was irritable?
He did not want to go to school, didn't want to go to a 20-minute swim lesson.
But it's hard to know, because sometimes 9-year-old kids are just, they don't want to do stuff,
He was a smart kid, loved school, loved sports, so he's typical, and then it just kind of went downhill.
And as a mom, you could tell something's not right.
And his color wasn't good. He was turning yellowish, and it wasn't a cold or flu. You knew it was kept lingering. So we hooked him up to a machine called the Skio machine, which I mentioned in our last talk, and that came up with leukemia, but then we got it verified with a live blood cell test.
So the machine was able to tell?
Yes.
And then traditional MD kind of stuff?
Yes.
Wow.
So we saw his blood underneath a microscope. Not only were there cancer cells, but he was anemic. He had a whole bunch of junk in his blood, fungus and candida, and very acidic. He was nutritionally deficient. You could tell he was low in his vitamins, and it just looked awful. He looked at me and said, "Mom, I know you're going to fix me. Why are you crying?" And I thought, oh, God, I have to do this.
But had you been on your journey of...
Yes. So I had been on my journey enough to know that I was not going to put him through chemo. I was not going to do the traditional way. And what I did have on hand was this, which is the accelerated silver. And this tastes like water, looks like water, and it's phenomenal. But it kills, silver in general has been known to kill viruses, bacteria, fungus, everything, any foreign pathogen. And it's been around since antiquity. I mean, they've been using this forever during the plague in Europe. Hippocrates was using it. It's just been around forever.
And you know, after your first appearance, a lot of Crowdsource the Truth viewers ordered some of the products and have been emailing me. They are really having a great experience and enjoying them. And you were kind enough to send me some. I tried a little bit of the silver and it tasted like water. So I mean, I think a lot of people have become accustomed to the traditional Western medicine where you take a pill and 2 or 3 days, something happens. You feel right away, this infection's going away, or this fever, or whatever it is you're taking the pill for. But obviously, as diseases get more complicated, and we've seen, just even in my life, the number of pharmaceuticals and the advertising of pharmaceuticals, they've created this kind of, I think it's all part of this instant gratification society that we've come into. And my personal feeling, because I even before you and I started talking, I like, you know, toothpaste without fluoride in it and soap without SLS and all this kind of stuff. And I can't say that when I started using those things, I felt some kind of immediate reaction, but I'm several years into it now, and I feel good every day. And a lot of people who sometimes I haven't seen for many years will be shocked and say, oh, you look 10 years younger or whatever. So I think these types of products are very good. So tell us some more. Your son, he recovered from all this stuff.
Yes. So now that was 9 years old, and now he's on the verge of being 17. And you just met him.
Yes, he's a very handsome and healthy-looking young man.
A healthy kid. He just won nationals in crew and crossed the finish line, breaking a record. So he's doing great. Hasn't been sick.
And the joy I see in your face right now is just. I mean, this is a fantastic story. It's so strange to me how if something is advertised on TV as causing yawn, tremor, vomiting, sexual side effects, difficulty sleeping, possible death, people are like, let me get that.
Right.
And this stuff is all just like herbs, vegetable extracts, natural elements.
Everything you're looking at, you can't overdose, and it's only going to help. At the very worst case scenario, it's not going to do anything. Right. So when you see those commercials on TV, I'm sitting there going, you've got to be joking. It's a running joke in my family because my kids literally can recite some of those commercials.
And it sounds much worse than the disease that they're trying to cure.
Exactly. You know? And that's the problem with Western medicine. There is a place for Western medicine. I'm not discounting that. But with all of these medications, there's then 10 side effects. And then you need another medication to combat those side effects. These essentially are helping your body heal itself. What I've come to understand is that everything except for your teeth, everything in your body can be healed and reversed. Even Alzheimer's and dementia. I mean, I've got people that are reversing their mental, getting rid of their brain fog, getting rid of their...
Is that heavy metal in the brain?
It's a lot of things. It's type 3 diabetes. It's insulin resistance. So if we want to go to the basic fundamentals of where the health is going wrong today, I'd say 90% of it is insulin resistance and leaky gut, the two in combination.
I've heard of insulin resistance before in some of these diabetes drug commercials. What exactly is that? Your pre-diabetic condition or something?
Yes, you're essentially pre-diabetic. If you were continuing on the diet that I was on, where you're low fat, high carb, and here I'm thinking I'm eating healthy carbs, Those carbs, your body is releasing insulin every time you're eating sugar or carbs.
Even if it's an apple or a banana or something?
Correct. In fact, an apple can spike your blood sugar 70 points.
So the apple a day does not keep the doctor away?
No, mushrooms a day keep the doctor away.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So with that, if you're eating a higher carb diet, low fat, your body's producing insulin to take those carbs and store them in your body as fat. That's survival, right? So our bodies are either in the fat burning mode or the fat storing mode. Our ancestors did not eat the way we eat today. They ate a high fat, high protein diet, moderate protein. They didn't know if they were gonna kill their meat today or in 3 days. So sometimes they didn't eat. And when you don't eat, you don't release insulin. And when you eat fat, you don't really release insulin. So the lower your insulin is on a general basis, the more insulin sensitive you are.
I think I'm generally healthy, but I eat a lot of fruit, I eat a lot of sugar, probably more than I should.
So you could possibly be insulin pre-diabetic without even knowing it. You're fit.
Wow.
And so a lot of people are fit and thin and don't think that they've got a weight problem, so there's nothing to worry about.
And then they get hit with something. So how can I tell if...
You can take a blood test, a fasting blood test, glucose test in the morning, and if you are over, I mean, some people say over 100, but I say if you're over 85 in the morning on a fasting glucose, you need to cut some sugar out of your diet. So what I do is I follow a ketogenic diet. And what that means is it's mostly a high fat, higher protein, low carb diet. I keep my carbs under 20 grams a day and mostly green vegetables, and I eat a lot of steak, grass-fed, organic steak.
People might be surprised to hear you say that.
And I load on the butter and olive oil if I want to. I eat the gristle. It's the best part of my meal. If I have chicken, which is not my favorite, I have the organic dark meat with the chicken,
free range,
and with the skin on top. I eat a lot of wild salmon, a lot of wild fish,
But
lamb.
the oceans are becoming so polluted now that fish is no longer necessarily the healthy alternative it once was.
Right, you have to really be careful of where it's coming from and what kind of fish you're getting.
Farmed and everything. They're farming tilapia in a toilet in China somewhere.
Well, tilapia is a bottom feeder, so I'd stay away from that regardless. But yeah, you do have to be careful with the fish. Eat a lot of lamb. Typically, lamb is always grass-fed, so it's a safe thing to order whenever you're at a restaurant.
Pork?
I don't do pork. Pork is full of parasites.
Even if it's cooked?
It's a dirty meat. Pigs don't sweat. So think of all the toxins that are held into their...
People love bacon.
I know. I love bacon too, and I miss it. But it's not worth it. We've had parasites in our family, and they're very difficult to get away.
What do you mean? How do you determine when you have a parasite? How do you know?
Well, we can test on our AMP coil that we'll talk about later on. It's a machine, an in-home machine that people can get.
I'm going to need to test a few things.
Yeah, we'll test you in a little bit. The Skio machine also can come up with it, and your traditional doctor can test you for parasites.
And what do traditional doctors say to you when you discuss this type? You must have friends and husbands and wives who are MDs, and what do they say about this?
A lot of people will be open to some of the things. So this is interesting. I have a neurologist who's a very good friend, and I originally talked to her about the ketogenic diet and the keto supplement I sell, because when we were talking about the keto diet, people are going to say, well, I can't do that. I love my brownies at night. I love my chocolate. I need my ice cream,
cones,
right? And believe me, you're talking to someone that was totally addicted to sugar, So if I can get off sugar, anybody can. But this keto supplement puts your body into ketosis within 30 minutes. Okay.
So sorry, this is ignorant of me, but what is ketosis?
Okay, so what is ketosis? Ketosis is putting yourself into fat burning mode within 30 minutes. Okay, so when your body is searching for fuel, think about your pantry and your refrigerator, and then that basement freezer with the lock on it. Okay, so the basement freezer are your fat stores. It's got the real good meat in it, the real good energy source. That frozen meat that you stuck down there and you have to de-thaw and you have to prepare and that sort of thing. When you're burning sugar for fuel on a daily basis, you can only store 1,700 calories of energy. Okay, so that's why if you eat
there's the sugar crash
and your sugar crashes, you need to eat again to keep your energy up.
Right.
That's you going to the pantry every couple of hours, the quick fix, the quick fix. The fridge is kind of that middle of the road. Well, maybe I'll pull something out quick. But that freezer is where your fat stores are. So if you can start opening that freezer and tackling that food as energy, that you've got thousands and thousands of calories on your body. Even though you're a fit guy with a low body fat percentage, you've got hundreds of thousands of calories of energy to use. So as soon as you're in ketosis, your body says, oh my gosh, I don't need sugar anymore. I've got all the energy I need on my body. And that's what our ancestors were doing when they were hunting and couldn't find food for 3 days. They actually perform better on day 3 than day 1 because they are in a deeper state of ketosis. Their mental clarity is higher, their physical performance is better. The body's smart. When you're in ketosis and burning your fat, do you think it's going to go after that muscle and tear down your muscles? It's not going to. It's going to provide clean energy for the brain and for the body and the muscles. So you're burning that fat energy, providing that great physical and mental energy, and sparing the muscle. So when people are in ketosis, they actually don't break down their muscle, and for athletes it's great because they're building on their workouts from the day before. They don't need to have that protein shake right after their workout to make sure they're repairing that muscle tissue. And then what else is happening is you're becoming very insulin sensitive, correct?
This is the opposite of insulin resistant.
Right. So when you talk about diabetics and pre-diabetics, I think it's over 80% of the United States is pre-diabetic or diabetic.
Wow.
And most people don't even know it.
Well, they're in line at Starbucks and McDonald's.
Right, getting their frappuccinos and their
with sugar, right?
bagels.
And thousands of calories in these drinks.
Yeah, and no one knows it. And sugar is 8 times more addictive than cocaine.
Wow.
So when you are on a sugar high, it's awesome. It feels great. But then you've got the downturn, and then you've got to eat more sugar to keep going.
I don't know that I ever notice any kind of like acute, like if you pound a cocktail, you feel a little tipsy, but I don't ever like eat an ice cream cone and feel like, oh, I'm super.
That's because you've got your body is becoming insulin resistant. So then what happens is after you're eating sugar over the years and we get older, your body becomes more resistant to that sugar and that insulin. So your body's trying to pump out all of that insulin to take care of the sugar and grab those sugar molecules and store it as fat, right? Constantly. Then your pancreas says, I can't keep up with this anymore. I can't keep up with this anymore. And then it gives up, and then you have diabetes.
Wow.
And then it stops pumping out the insulin, and then you need to get shots. And
your whole lifestyle changes.
Right. And once you start taking in insulin shots, that's like going to having an alcoholic say, okay, for your prescription, you need to drink more alcohol.
Wow.
Right? So
are you aware of any anecdotal cases where someone who is diabetic reverses diabetes?
Yes, me. I was pre-diabetic. I would sit there thinking I'm super healthy, test my blood sugar, and after a healthy dinner go, why am I at 180?
Wow.
You want your blood sugar after a meal or 30 minutes after a meal under 120. So here I was thinking I was doing everything right, and I was pre-diabetic for sure. Now my blood sugar is as low as can be. I don't know if I get over 100.
But what about people out there who are saying they don't want to go through their life if they can't enjoy a meal and dessert? And
if you saw what I eat, you'd be knowing that I am not deprived. I mean, I am eating ribeyes. I'm eating lots of butter and avocados and these amazing salads and vegetables that are loaded with delicious fats. And I feel great.
But you would never have a birthday cake or a chocolate mousse?
I'll have a couple bites, but what's amazing is I'll have, when I used to have 2 servings of it, now I'll have 2 bites and go, that's
a little
awesome.
overwhelmed.
And it tastes great, but it's you feel that spike in your sugar.
Right. Wow.
You become super sensitive to it, and the cravings just go away. I used to drink alcohol, and I used to have that craving for it. Did not try to get rid of it. I'm not opposed to alcohol, but I don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
I feel great without it. I just don't need it.
Yeah.
And my husband's the same, and it's been an interesting change, because now I feel like every day I'm building on the health of yesterday versus going downhill.
And I think that alcohol is a big contributor to people's health going down, because I also sort of, never made like, okay, I'm going to stop drinking, but just sort of got out of doing it, and I'll have wine every now and then, but I don't really drink that much at all anymore. And you're right, I don't miss it.
Yeah.
But I think when people do drink all the time, you wind up eating late and eating bad food and not getting good sleep, and it really is very damaging to your health beyond the direct effect of the alcohol in your cells and your liver and your digestion and all of that. So I think if there are people watching who really want to affect a change in their health, slowing down or stopping your alcohol intake is one of the most important things people can do, particularly, how does alcohol interact with insulin resistance and all that?
Oh, well, it's a sugar. So it's the first sugar that is burned in your body. So if you are eating and you're drinking, your body sees that alcohol as a poison, and it is the first calorie that it's going to burn and get rid of. So what does that mean for all the other food that you're taking in? Turns directly into fat. So a lot of women out there will drink and say, well, I'm not going to eat, or I'm just going to drink my calories.
Right.
And that sugar is going straight to fat. So I don't, and it's also dehydrating the cells and making the imbalance in your electrolytes occur, so that it's just a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
So really your health is either it has momentum going in the right direction or the wrong direction, and you have to really decide which direction you want to go into. When I started all of this, I just kept building on my health and start adding in things, and I felt better and better and better, and I don't want to go back. So it's and same with my kids. I mean, you talk about kids, oh, well, I can't get my kids to eat healthy. My kids will go to a birthday party now, and they might have a couple bites of pizza and cake, but they really
don't even want it anymore.
They don't even really want it.
Right.
And it's interesting. They make very smart decisions now. I don't really have to watch them or tell them what to do or what not to do. And I truly believe that that's the best gift that you can give a kid.
Yeah.
Kid menus at restaurants, I don't understand what besides saving money.
Chicken fingers and hot dogs and
right. It's in mac and cheese. It's awful. So back to the insulin resistance and the ketogenic diet.
Yeah.
What the ketogenic diet not only does, getting rid of your cravings for sugar and alcohol, but it's going to help you be able to intermittent fast. And what that means is squeezing your feeding time period into a shorter period during the day. You don't need to eat 6 times a day to be healthy. Eating 6 times a day is coming from the food companies wanting you to buy their food, right? And also,
I thought 3. I never heard of 6.
Yeah, well, eat 6 small meals a day, you'll boost your metabolism. Actually, it's the opposite. When you eat 6 small meals a day, it's like telling you to go to the bank 6 times and you only have $20 in there. So how much? You're not going to spend much. So you're actually slowing down your metabolism.
And what about people who skip breakfast? Or we've even heard that communist dictator Jack Dorsey eats 1 meal per day while blocking people from Twitter for freedom of speech.
And I do 1 meal a day sometimes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Because
that's the ketosis.
Yes, that's part of the ketosis, and skipping breakfast. Breakfast can be late. Breakfast may be the most important meal of the day if you want it to be, but it doesn't have to be at 8 a.m. It can be at 1 or 2 in the afternoon.
And what do you mean by that? Like what, you have eggs and cereal or
whatever? Well, we try to stay to the higher fat, high protein meals like eggs, avocado. You tell me that an omelet with guacamole and organic chicken sausage is not going to satisfy you and make you feel good.
Yeah.
That's what we eat. And then for lunch, if you squeeze your meals into 4 to 6 hours, some 8, but just by giving your body the hours to have that break of not eating gives your body a time to heal. So when you're releasing insulin, like I said, is when you're eating sugar and carbs. When you're releasing insulin, your body stops all of the healing inside and goes to work on digestion. When you're not digesting food, your body goes into a state of autophagy, where it's actually killing the cancer cells, killing the disease, reducing the inflammation in the body, cleaning up all the junk. And with that, then I add in these other supplements that actually speed up that process, speed up the healing, reduce the inflammation, so the brain fog goes away. You're killing cancer. Your mental alertness is awesome. You're actually starting to feed your brain. For those with dementia or Alzheimer's, their brain has stopped using glucose for energy. So the cells are dying because the glucose is not providing energy to those cells, but those cells can actually take in the ketones from the ketosis, which comes from the fat cells, to regenerate the brain cells and actually reverse dementia and Alzheimer's.
Amazing. I mean, you certainly sound like a doctor. I presume you've studied nutrition, or where does all this knowledge come from?
A lot of it is just forced by healing my body and my family's bodies. But I did go back to school and do the Institute of Integrative Nutrition and another schooling that helped me learn about Chinese and Ayurvedic medicine, and also just the basics of how the body works. I truly also self-taught. And from my mentor as well, and how the body works. But when you are also in a fasted state or in a ketogenic state, that leaky gut that we talked about earlier starts to become healed. And the mechanisms go in, heal the gut, help start producing that serotonin, help produce the dopamine, the things that calm your brain down, the GABA in the brain. The GABA is the calming hormone that just makes you feel like, okay, I can handle this. My problems are 10 feet away from me. They're not right in my face, right? You know that feeling. A lot of anxiety now with people and depression. The rates are skyrocketing with kids and adults, and people that I have known for years and years who are just seem like the coolest cats in the world are now saying, I don't know where this anxiety is coming from. Well, that anxiety is from the sugar, the toxins, the glyphosate, and just the EMFs in our world that we are now being bombarded with. Well, when you're in a ketogenic state and when you take some of these supplements, you're going to heal that leaky gut. You're producing that serotonin. You're reducing the inflammation in your body. You're increasing the alertness in your brain, and you just feel your best self. If I had the brain I had now, or back when I was at Stanford during my college years, school would have been so easy. I was eating wrong, I was studying way too hard, and now, I mean, my brain is on fire compared to back then.
Wow, I mean, you're obviously very intelligent, went to Stanford and all of that, so even better now.
Even better now.
I mean, the brain is part of the body, so of course, if you have an unhealthy body, how will you possibly expect to have good mental health?
Right.
So let's talk about some of these supplements.
So let's first talk about the silver. This is what kills viruses, bacteria, fungus, parasites, and it helps, I truly believe it helps increase my physical energy and my mental clarity. It's a very strong immune booster. It helps the body heal itself, helps the body bring it back into a balance. And then my silver, above any other silver that's out there, has applied vibrational frequency in it. What does that mean? That essentially means that the water, the distilled water, is treated with scalar energy frequencies that help enhance the healing ability of silver. And then number two, is that this silver versus other silvers is that is able to get through the gut. When we talk about dietary supplements, a lot of dietary supplements cannot go through the gut barrier because of the stomach acid. So it never gets to the body to heal the body. And if you think about when you get bit by a spider in your arm, for instance, you go to the doctor and the doctor's going to give you an IV straight into your arm so you don't lose your arm. They're not going to give you an oral antibiotic, right? So, and that's because they want to get straight to the infection. Well, same with other silvers. It's not going to go through the gut and actually get to the arm. My silver will.
And we should also mention people can get these products from acceleratedhealthproducts.com.
Yes, and since I'm talking about the silver, this is a no-brainer, by the way. For the guy that is overweight and doesn't want to change anything and eats McDonald's every day, this is going to improve their health.
Wow.
For the Olympic athlete who wants to improve their performance physically, mentally, this is for them as well. I take it personally 4 to 7 times a day, 2 teaspoons at a time, and you leave it in your mouth for at least a minute and then you swallow. I highly recommend you Google the different uses for silver in general. I'm not allowed to discuss using it topically, or for instance, I can't say that you can put it in your ear for ear infections or things like that. But you can read about silver in general and just apply those instructions and those uses to my silver and just know that you're going to get a more enhanced, effective result from it.
We probably should give a general disclaimer that these are what? These
are natural supplements. I am not a doctor, and I'm just giving you my personal experience with these supplements.
Right.
So since I'm talking about this real quick, we have not mentioned the gold. And the gold, the technology behind the gold is the same as the silver. Both of these are ultra fine gold and silver hydrosols. So they are not colloidal silver and gold. But gold has been used for thousands of years, just like the silver. It was even given as a gift to Jesus, right? And
I thought it was myrrh and frankincense.
And gold.
Oh, wow.
It was the 3 of them. So the gold has been known for thousands of years to help with anxiety, sleep, depression, increasing IQ, circulation. There have been a lot of reports for it boosting the immune system as well. I recommend, again, searching Dr. Google for what gold can do for you, but the accelerated version of gold is going to have that enhanced ability to heal the body in a way way above the typical colloidal gold or even nano or other hydrosols because of that applied vibrational frequency that is added into it. So those are the 2, gold and silver. And when we're talking about my most popular bundle that I have, it includes the silver, it includes 6 supplements. Let's see here. How many is that? I'm missing one. Here we go. Okay, so there's the 6. And what it is you've got the silver that is cleaning out the body and killing off the foreign pathogens. You've got the Lateroflora, which this goes through the gut, and it's a soil-based organism that kills off the E. coli, the salmonella, and the candida in the gut. So these are the things that could be causing weight gain, could be causing just issues with your gut, and it cleans that out. Then you've got the Restore. This is an awesome supplement that helps rebuild the leaky gut. So it's going to heal that lining and help provide an environment so more probiotics can grow in your body. I do carry probiotics as well, that's important, but when you're taking Restore, you don't need as many probiotics because your body is given the tools to produce its own probiotics and the most optimal gut microbiome to help with digestion, to help with weight loss, to help with producing the proper serotonin and other hormones and everything that is supposed to be working in the gut. 80% of your immune system is in the gut. So when we're talking about all these health issues that people have, you fix the gut, you fix all of those health issues.
With the probiotics, when someone has some kind of infection and the doctor prescribes antibiotics, I've heard that's like destroying the gut. Can this help?
Yes. Oh, the antibiotics is killing. Yes, you're going to feel better in day 1, 2, and 3, right? Like we were talking about earlier.
Right.
But it is wiping out all of the good bacteria and the bad bacteria, and that is your immune system.
I've heard it can make certain strains in the gut go completely extinct.
Yes. And then people say, well, I don't understand. I've gained 10 pounds in the last 2 months. I haven't changed anything afterwards. And that's because you could have the wrong bacteria in there, or the right bacteria is gone. They do fecal transplants now.
I heard about that in the New York Times.
You know, will I ever do one? Hopefully not. Hopefully I never need one. But the science behind it's amazing. The fact that you take fecal material from a skinny person, implant it in a fat person, and that person will lose weight just from that, and not changing anything else. So the power of bacteria, there are, 10 times the amount of bacteria in us than there are cells in our body.
Wow.
We are bacteria. We are just a shell and a home for bacteria. So you wipe out your bacteria, you wipe out your immune system, you wipe out your serotonin production, you wipe out, and anxiety and depression are very common symptoms from being on antibiotics.
Wow.
And any prescription medication. So prescription medication in general is causing leaky gut, is wiping out the bacteria. So when people say, well, I'm on an anti-anxiety drug or an antidepressant, it's actually causing that depression or anxiety to become worse.
Yeah, see, I've always sort of felt that just intuitively. But what about people who have really serious chronic conditions, or aging parents, grandparents? You see these people have these those little bins with different pills for every day.
Right. Well, number one, we don't know how those pills are interacting with each other. So
don't doctors know though? Don't they have drug interact? I mean, I say right. It's great until the lawyer commercials come on. If you took this drug, come sue everybody.
Right. So really, they don't. I mean, it's very difficult to say.
I also want to just add to everything that we're saying, and I like to say this when I speak to guests who are talking about alternative remedies and stuff. I do not prescribe to this theory where doctors are evil and that they're trying to kill everybody. I really do think that almost universally, people enter the medical field because they want to help people.
Absolutely.
And they are just acting in the way that they've been trained. Yes. They're indoctrinated into a system in the same way that people are indoctrinated into any culture. This is what they believe to be right. And often there's a lot of resistance to some of these alternative approaches.
I think some of them are opening themselves up to this, but unfortunately, this doesn't make them money. And they have to bring home the bread just like everybody else. And then the other thing is in medical school, the amount of education on nutrition is minimal. I've been told it's one class, and then a lot of people don't even go to that class, and they're telling them the wrong things anyways. They're telling them to eat 11 servings of bread a day, and the high carb, low fat diet is what they're still speaking to. So back to the gut, when you are rebuilding the gut with these supplements, you can get yourself back into working properly and helping your own body heal itself. So with the Lateraflora, like I said, this is killing off the bad bugs. And then the Restore is helping with rebuilding the gut lining so that you are rebuilding your probiotics in your body. And then what I'm not showing here is the Flora Max probiotic that I do carry on my website. It is a strong probiotic to help support that rebuilding of probiotics. The next supplement would be, right now I'm carrying this keto shake, and this puts you into ketosis within 30 minutes. Really excited, and I don't want to announce it yet, but hopefully in the next couple months we'll have accelerated keto and wanting a keto supplement that is even stronger and more effective in putting your body into ketosis and giving you that extra boost of mental and physical energy. But what the shake and that supplement is doing by putting you into the state of ketosis within 30 minutes, it's telling your body, okay, look for fat for fuel. So it starts looking to your own fat stores for that energy, starts burning that fat for weight loss, or I should say fat loss, and it helps maintain that muscle mass. But it also gives you that appetite control where you can intermittent fast and squeeze your feeding period into that shorter period, and giving your body that those fasting hours to rebuild the gut and go to work and clean up those cancer cells and those disease cells and reduce the inflammation throughout the body, reduce the brain fog, and improve that mental alertness. I know you know that when you are eating and you're sitting at the dinner table, you're like, gosh, I'm so relaxed and I can't think, because your blood is now in your stomach. So when you're not eating and you're fasting, that blood's in your brain, that blood's in your extremities, going to fight that tiger, going to do whatever is that task at hand. And people really report amazing physical and energy when they're in a fasting period. Fasting has been talked about in every religion across the board, right? Yeah. It's not an option, it's a known fact that that's what they're doing. So you're into ketosis. You now are taking your silver to clean your body out. You're taking the restore to heal your gut while you're not eating so it can do its work. You're taking your Luteiflora to clean out the bad bugs. And now what you do need, because when you're in ketosis, your kidneys actually let go of water. Let's go of fat cells, right? We're losing weight, we're losing water weight. But you need to rebalance your electrolytes. You actually lose some electrolytes as you're losing that water weight initially. So this oxalate helps provide the appropriate electrolytes, amino acids, minerals, and vitamins that you need. Tastes great. Kids love it. Mix it directly in water, and I put a little apple cider vinegar in it just for taste, just myself, but people love it by itself. It comes in a couple flavors, and you can drink that anytime you want, empty stomach, with your food, whatever you want. But it really helps provide that energy. Also great for jet lag, great for just rehydrating after a hangover if you have that. So it's used. This is another supplement that's great for anyone at any stage of their health, whether they want to go extreme or just try one or two things. And then the last one is the Accelerated Cellular Detox Powder. This has 6 organic nutrients in it, and it includes zeolite, micronized zeolite, which means that it is able to pull out more toxins than just a regular zeolite. Psyllium husk, diatomaceous earth, triphala, activated charcoal. All of these supplements and slippery elm are going to help with regularity and bloat. It's also going to take all of the toxins that you are releasing from the silver and the Luteiflora and pass them through your colon gently and bypass your liver and your kidneys. Our liver and kidneys are our filters of our body, but our filters were not meant to deal with the bombardment of toxins that we have today. They were great for 100 years ago, but today our systems need a little help.
So have we been through each of these? There's still a few more
yes,
here, I see.
These are the Keto Detox Bundle. That's what you get in the Keto Detox Bundle. Super easy to take. Everything's easy. And just FYI, my kids do all of this stuff. So it's very easy for people to do.
Mild.
Okay, so then I've got, nowadays, with what I've learned with 5G, with EMFs, with the dangers of radiation, I've come up with my thyroid and radiation detox bundle. Nowadays, with our soils and our food supply totally depleted of iodine, I've come to know the importance of iodine. It's the most important mineral for the human body, essentially. And there are a lot of iodines out there. There's a lot of radio-contaminated iodines. People say, oh, well, I get my iodine from my salt. There was a study where 36 out of 39 salts were tested, and 39 salts were tested, and 36 of them
No iodine at all.
Not that, but they were full of microplastics.
Whoa.
So here you're thinking you're taking this in as a health benefit and you're filling your body with plastics.
Wow.
And these are some of the best salts out there. So you have to really be careful about your salt, but you're also not going to get enough iodine through your salt. And when you take iodine attached to another molecule, your body has to work hard at breaking it apart, especially if you have a weakened immune system. So the iodine, this iodine is the only monoatomic iodine out there, and it has scalar charged energy embedded in it. So as we were talking about the frequencies added in the silver and the gold, this has scalar charged energy put into it to increase the healing frequencies of the iodine. When you look at the bioavailability of iodine, and I don't want to name any other ones out there, but you're supposed to take 3 to 20 drops per dose, but look at how quickly this dissolves in water and the bioavailability of it. It's just seamless because it's monoatomic, meaning one singlet atom of iodine. You put this directly in your tongue and it will burn because it's so strong.
Really?
Yeah.
Now it's like the opposite of a neat whiskey.
Yeah. And you take that on an empty stomach 3 times a day. You start with about 3 drops per dose, and then you increase it to 20 drops per dose 3 times a day, and it will start flooding your system with the proper iodine. Iodine is not only needed for thyroid health, but it's needed for breast tissue health, for your adrenals, for your heart, for your brain. Most people in the United States, I'm sure if you don't have it, you know someone who has
iodine deficiency, right?
Yes, and also just hypothyroidism or Hashimoto's. And people gain weight and they don't know why they're gaining weight. They're eating the same thing they've been eating, for the last 10 years, and all of a sudden they've got an extra 10 pounds on them. This could be because their thyroid is not working properly. Well, anyone who has had low thyroid knows the terms T4 and T3.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Okay, so T4 and T3 are...
It's like bull iodine or something, isn't it?
No.
Or bull thyroid or...
So what those are is your pituitary gland releases TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, to your thyroid to release or to make T4. T4 represents 4 molecules of iodine. You don't have iodine, you can't produce T4. T4 is supposed to be converted into T3 in the liver. You don't have iodine, you don't have T3. And that then produces ATP in the cells. You don't need to remember all of that science behind it, but what you do need to remember is that the iodine is an integral part of your thyroid health. Your thyroid is what produces energy, what helps with weight management, and helps with energy, and also produces apoptosis. What apoptosis is the killing of cancer and diseased cells.
Oh, should I drink this now?
You should.
It does taste very unique.
It's strong. And you can add, I put it in a lot less water because I'm used to taking a lot of supplements and things.
There is a hint of a whiskey kind of an aftertaste.
Oh, there
to
you
it.
go.
Isn't there?
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Weird.
It's
Is whiskey good for you? Maybe, I don't know. People out there will say it.
You know what? Whiskey. If you're sick, there's something about a hot whiskey that is healing. So yes, we've been known to use that.
Wow. Interesting.
But so this is. Between the silver and the iodine, you are creating that apoptosis and cleaning out your cells. Iodine is known to kill cancer. It's known to kill parasites. And people use it in enemas. I'm not promoting that or anything, but that is something that people have done.
What is that intended to do?
Kill the parasites in your colon.
Wow.
It kills viruses and bacteria. And also, the most amazing thing and I've found this myself, is your pineal gland is your third eye,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Ole talks about this a lot.
Yes. So with all of the calcification from fluoride and bromine and chloride in our system, our pineal gland is calcified with those toxins. This is actually going to decalcify the pineal gland. What happens then is that brain fog lifts and you become more connected with your higher self or God or your spiritual being, whatever you want to call it, source. That is the connection. And it's also called your sixth chakra. So you've got your sixth chakra, and your fifth chakra is where your thyroid is, and your heart is your fourth chakra. So all of these are connected, and without iodine to decalcify and clean it out and provide the proper nutrients to them, you are going to be in a brain fog. Right?
I think there's a lot of people who sort of gloss over when you start talking about chakras and the pineal gland. And here, I've thought about this because we've always heard that the brain, we only use 10% of our brain or whatever, and that seems like probably an inaccurate way of describing it. It occurred to me, I went to South by Southwest a couple years ago, which is like a film and music and technology festival. And I think IBM or Intel had a display there where you put on this cap that you were controlling a video game with your brain waves.
Yeah.
And we all know, EKGs and EEGs, they can sense brain activity and heart activity, electrical impulses, right?
Right.
So we're talking about 5G, we're talking about electromagnetic interference with our bodies. It can obviously be detected in our bodies.
Yes.
We've heard about these active denial weapons that were first used in the Gulf War in the 1990s. People are very concerned about the phased array technology of 5G and how similar it is to those active denial weapons. It's interesting because, as a non-doctor, non-scientist, it just occurs to me, if something can detect electrical energy in your brain and drive a video game with that,
right.
What if you overwhelm the brain with electrical energy? Can it, like a cell phone, if you blast some foreign radio signal at a cell phone, the phone won't work. How is that going to affect your brain? So I think perhaps people who maybe feel like we're getting a little too spiritual if we talk about this stuff, I like to think of it in those more practical terms, and maybe it's easier for some people to relate to.
And I have to admit that the chakra talk it turned me off.
Sounds like loony bin stuff.
Yeah, it did. But what I've come to realize is, number one, that science has been around for a lot longer than our science.
Right.
So there's something to it. But there's just different words that we use for the same thing.
Right.
So the pineal gland is the sixth chakra. They're the same thing, right? So the thyroid gland is the fifth chakra. There's no mystery to it. But what you're talking about is making this work better and connecting your mind and your body, and just number one, clearing out your pineal gland so that you're clearing out the brain fog. I would think that everyone can connect to that.
Yeah.
So many people complain.
You're really talking about a holistic approach to health, whereas, no matter what people want to say about Western medicine, it's very much, you've got an infection, this will kill the infection. But what does it do when it goes through the rest of my body? Well, don't worry about that. We got another pill for that.
Right.
And you see that everywhere. You have this pill for your heart problem, and then this pill because that pill is going to, thin your blood, and then you need this other pill to help your digestion, and you're going to be constipated from this pill, so you need this. And it becomes, that's where you start getting out the tray of 15 pills per day.
Exactly. And it's a lot more expensive, by the way. This stuff is going to save you money because, number one, you're going to cut out the Starbucks and the sugar, right?
Yeah.
And the vending machine that you pay every day, but you don't even count into your monthly budget. But it's also going to cut down on your medical costs.
Right.
It's just a no-brainer.
Well, in improving your health, you can't put a price on that. And I'll tell you something, before I started Crowdsource the Truth, I was always very intrigued by alternative explanations for things like 9/11 and the JFK assassination and all that. But I will say it was Alex Jones and InfoWars that I first started watching and really absorbing, all this type of alternative news. And I actually found out about Alex Jones through their supplement products and their iodine and stuff
Yes.
like that before I ever watched the show.
So, funny story
Yeah.
is that iodine is the one I was taking before I found this.
Aha.
And I was taking it religiously, and it's a good one.
Yeah.
It does not have the scalar energy added to it, and it's not as potent, because when I was
That definitely tastes stronger.
right, when I took this the first day after I started taking that one, I felt a huge rush of energy. This is also detoxing you quicker. So sensitive people do need to start out with a smaller dose, because you are detoxifying your body from the what you call the halogens, which are the fluoride, the bromine, and the chloride. So your body needs to process that detoxification.
And people are being exposed to those chemicals just by drinking tap water and going in a swimming pool.
Yes.
Or, I mean, I really don't go in swimming pools anymore, because I've just learned how toxic the chlorine exposure is. You absorb all of that into your body.
Yep, I know. My son was a water polo player for 5 years, so I'm so happy he switched to rowing.
So this is your son who had leukemia. Wow.
Yes. So he's definitely still detoxing from chlorine, for sure.
Whoa.
But so you have to be careful if you're super sensitive. But the great thing about the iodine is then we have the Nuke No More, which is it detoxifies you from radiation. And
how is it doing that?
It's amazing. It's essentially like a wireless technology or communication between the intracellular. Don't know how it works, but essentially what you're going to do is, after your first dose of iodine in the morning on an empty stomach, you do 12 drops of this, tastes like water, under your tongue, and that's what it is. You only really need to go through one bottle, the typical person, to detoxify all of the ionizing and non-ionizing radiation in your body. That's going from the commercial flights to the smart meters to the x-rays to your cell phones, everything. So in the study that has been done out of 32 subjects who were extremely contaminated, 31 of them were zeroed out with one bottle. And what's even more phenomenal is they stayed zeroed out for 2.5 years after that. So unless you're exposed to radiation at a high level after that, you really need only 1 to 2 bottles. Me, because I'm just so extreme, if I go on a flight, I will do it afterwards for sure, even though I've gone through my bottle that I needed to do. But it's a no-brainer.
And you know, we spoke to Willem about aerotoxic syndrome. This is partly what's contributing to jet lag and just people arrive at their destination, and sometimes even if you're going on vacation, it can take days to recover.
And then you have to fly home.
Right.
And
it's a double dose.
Yeah, and you have to re-entry back into reality with work and kids.
So Sarah, what about heavy metal detox? We hear a lot about exposure to heavy metals. Coal burning puts mercury into the atmosphere. People going to coal-fired pizza restaurants, which I think is absolutely crazy.
Yep. So there we go. You've got the iodine, the
That'll
silver,
also do heavy metal.
and then with the detox powder.
Wow.
Those 4 will help with, all 4 of them help with heavy metal detox. And then I do recommend, if you look on the website under the thyroid and radiation detox bundle, which those 3 are, you've got the accelerated ancient salt.
Oh wow.
And this is not just any salt. Number 1, it's beautiful. It comes from 5 sources of radiation-free, scalar-charged salts from the Andes Mountains, the Himalayas, and Utah. And it's a detoxifying salt. So what people don't know is the importance of salt in your body. You can't absorb your potassium without the proper amounts of salt. But what this also does is, if you take a pinch of this salt after you do your dose of Nuke No More, you're helping detoxify you further and rehydrate the body. and rehydrate the cells as you're detoxing.
Are you cooking with this or just taking it as a supplement?
After you cook with this, you'll never want to use another salt to cook with. It tastes so good.
And put it on the table and just a replacement for table salt.
I put it in my small jar for table salt, and that's what we use. And I carry it with me because I
at restaurants and stuff.
I mean, and once you taste this, you're not going to want to put restaurant salt on your food.
Wow.
So, and it comes in a large jar, so it lasts a long time.
Yeah.
You also can use it in salt baths for detox.
Oh yeah.
So you do about a tablespoon of this, plus then you get some cheap dead sea salt, big
Epsom
bags,
salt,
Epsom
maybe.
salt from Amazon.
Yeah.
And you take a half a cup of that, and then a tablespoon of this in a bath, and it will help detox you, as your skin is the largest organ on your
Right.
body and the easiest way to get toxins out of your body.
Wow.
So that would be that is my most cutting edge and favorite.
Stars of the lineup.
Yes, because essentially, as we are being more and more bombarded by these EMFs and these toxins in this toxic world, it's just needed.
Yeah, I think it's a growing concern for people. Everyone is very worried about 5G. I just don't think, practically speaking, we're going to be able to stop the big corporations and the marching on of progress. So knowing about these things to protect your health is very interesting. Were there any other supplements that we wanted to look at?
Well, I wanted to talk to you about, you were asking me about hair growth and skin health and this is something I have been using forever. It's the liquid biocell collagen. Actually, I've been using it almost as long as the silver. It's the only collagen supplement that I know of that matches what our bodies can recognize as its own. So there are so many collagens out there. A lot of them come from beef, and our body doesn't know what to do with it because it doesn't look like our collagen. This is more absorbable than any collagen that I've found. Tastes great, and if you'd like to take a taste, that's your bottle.
Thank you very much.
But
so will this grow my hair back?
It will help your hair growth back. It helps with arthritic pain, rebuilding nerve tissue and cartilage. I don't know if you want to zoom in on my eyelid, but about 2015, I got.
I see that.
I was in a car accident.
Oh no.
So what's that? 4 years ago, and I hit the steering wheel and had stitches down to the bone.
You're lucky you didn't lose your eye.
I am very lucky. It was blood everywhere. I was with my daughter. That's a whole nother story we could go into. And ironically, that's when I was introduced to ketosis, which brought back my brain because I was having memory loss and anxiety and depression and things like that. But then my brain came back from the ketosis. But as far as the collagen goes, I had the stitches put in, 4 layers of stitches. I used the collagen, double dosed on it. I used the silver as well, and used both of them topically and internally, and went back, and the doctor really didn't know how I healed so quickly.
I didn't even notice it until you pointed it out.
There's actually a blog post on my website. People can see before and after pictures of just a week. And really, it's pretty phenomenal as far as the results I got from just that. And it helps with hair growth, rebuilding joint health, nerve damage, skin, of course, getting rid of the wrinkles, and people just love it. When they get it, they never stop it. I haven't stopped it since I started it, and I love it. And I love the taste. It comes in a couple different flavors, and it's great.
And are these all like organic?
Oh yes. So this is it's kosher, and well, I'm sorry. It comes from the sternum of a chicken, so it doesn't touch the blood of the animal. So even vegans and people that are after kosher items, they are okay with this.
Chicken sternum for a vegan?
Chicken sternum.
I thought vegans are not even wearing leather shoes.
Right. Well, it depends on what kind of vegan you are. Right. How vegan are you?
Right.
So, it's your choice. But most people are not going to be taking the other collagen that's coming from beef if they're vegan or eat right. So, this is the cleanest collagen supplement I've found. It's type 2. There's 3 types of collagen, type 1, 2, and 3. Type 2 is the only type of collagen that can convert to type 1 and 3 in your body. So you want to make sure that you're either getting all 3 or you're getting type 2 so that it can convert into the other 2.
You're so knowledgeable about all this. It's great.
So and then the last thing that you had asked me earlier about is the liver flush.
Yes.
And let's go through, you want me to put it right here? Okay, so the liver flush includes Liverol Forte, malic acid, and then the detox powder. And what this is going to do, when you, like we were talking about, your liver is your filter, your liver and your kidneys. You have hundreds and hundreds of gallstones and liver stones just sitting there in your liver.
Really?
And they're like the size of peas. So just imagine frozen peas.
But they're hard stones, right?
They're hard stones.
And what is that?
It's cholesterol. So the little sidestep on cholesterol. Cholesterol is not bad. Cholesterol, you need it to make that testosterone and that estrogen and all your hormones in your body. So cholesterol is very important. And so eating cholesterol on a ketogenic diet, not a problem. That is not what causes heart disease. It is the sugar and the carbs that cause the mortality rates and the heart disease and everything that doctors are talking about.
So eating cholesterol doesn't necessarily give you high cholesterol.
No, your body makes 95% of its cholesterol, and thank God. Did you know that men that are put on statin drugs to lower their cholesterol, a lot of them are also put on Viagra?
See, I have a friend who's an analyst for some investment something or other, and I remember, I haven't seen him in a while, but we were maybe 40 or 41, and he was like, oh yeah, statins. Yeah. And I left that dinner thinking, he's crazy.
Yeah. I was told that I needed to be put on a statin when I was 27 years old, and my cholesterol was 215. That's nothing. There is no connection between taking a statin drug to lower your cholesterol and a lower risk of mortality.
I think they decided it was inflammation, right? Not cholesterol. That was
inflammation, and that's what all of these products do, are lower your inflammation, heal your gut, and help your immune system rebuild itself. So that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to detox, reset, and rebuild your immune system. So this is part of the detox, which is the liver. And this is super easy. I always love when I see my friends drinking these green drinks, and I'm a proponent of green drinks. I'm not against them, but they're not eating food, and they're just doing their green drinks.
Well, what is a green drink? Just kale
well, they can be a whole bunch of things. They can be full of sugar and pineapple juice and apples too, but they think if they're green, they're good for you.
Right.
And that
so you're anti-apple, it seems.
Well, apples in general are they've got 20 grams of sugar.
They're delicious though.
I know. Well, why are they delicious?
A lot of sugar, yeah.
And the thing is about fruit sugar, fructose, it's the only sugar that is metabolized in the liver and stored directly as fat. So when you eat fructose and sugar from fruit, you're actually giving the signal to the brain that you're more hungry than you were before the apple.
And I presume high fructose corn syrup
is the worst.
Off the chart.
Off the charts. It's changing the dynamics in your body and your cells and
major driver of obesity.
Oh, major. And it's screwing up your liver and causing so many metabolic diseases.
Yeah.
So, but back to the cleanses that people do with just green drinks, they're hangry. They're hungry.
And angry.
They're angry.
Yeah.
And they're not getting that big flush at the end to cleanse their liver. So yeah, it's giving them a little bit of a digestive break. But what this is doing is, number one, you're eating real food. So you're not going hungry.
Meaning you add this to your normal diet.
Yes, yes. So what you're going to do is the detox powder for 2 weeks prior to starting the actual pills. You eat a clean diet, try to stay away from sugar and gluten, try to stay away from alcohol and red meat. Not mandatory.
Wait, you can't do a liver detox while boozing it up? That's so surprising.
Imagine that. Well, we're trying to give this organ a little bit of a break, right?
Yeah.
So then for the second 2 weeks, you're going to take 4 of the Liverol Forte and 2 of the malic acid together 3 times a day on an empty stomach. Then you just eat like you do normally, and you're staying away from red meat, alcohol, and margarine. Hopefully,
margarine's terrible, right?
Hopefully,
I mean, it's all
trans fat.
Right, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Hydrogenated oils, and what's the other one that Whole Foods allows in there? Diglycerides, mono and diglycerides. For some reason, Whole Foods allows that. Isn't it the same thing as trans fat?
I believe so. Whole Foods is not perfect.
Yeah. No, it's better. It's better than your traditional kind of supermarket, but
right, yeah, it's amazing. And canola oil, and
that's terrible,
it's
right?
It's horrible. Yeah, so you want to stick to the olive oils and the coconut oils of the world, and even real butter. And yeah. So you're going to take
ghee.
Or ghee is even better.
Yeah.
So you take these pills on an empty stomach, and then you do the detox powder, continuing with a tablespoon at night before bed. And then on the last day...
I've just been taking it in the morning, at night as well, huh?
You want to just do it at night.
Just at night?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I've got it all wrong. I'm glad I came to see you.
Yes. You do it at night because that's soaking up all the toxins from the day. And... it helps with sleep. It just is. I mean, it's not going to hurt you to take in the morning. And if anyone,
I feel like I've noticed it doing. It's subtle. It's subtle, this type of stuff. But it's as people, in my experience at least, as you spend some time doing these things, like with the iodine. I haven't started on your iodine yet because I've got so many Alex Jones iodines built up that I want to finish. But I think I noticed a difference.
Yeah. Try it at night.
Yeah, I will.
So then on the last day, you eat a no-fat breakfast if you want to eat. Now, if you're in ketosis, I find it easier to fast and not eat, because then you're not even triggering those hunger cues.
Right.
And you've got that mental and physical energy just kind of carrying you through. And you're going to be taking some extra magnesium, and there's instructions that I send you. And then you're going to do an emulsified shake of olive oil and citrus fruit, some grapefruit, lemon, and lime.
Wow.
And you put it in a blender, emulsify it, you drink it really fast. You lay on your right side, because your liver and your gallbladder are on your right side. And it's going to be like a slip and slide, and it's going to flush all of those stones out into your colon. And those stones have been softened by the pills. So it breaks those stones down so they're easy to pass. And then after about 20 minutes, I stay down in that position for 60 minutes just because I want to make sure I get everything out.
Bring a magazine.
Yep. Watch TV, fall asleep.
Yeah.
And then you can flip over to the other side if you want. You might wake up a few times to go to the bathroom, but literally you will see hundreds of stones in the toilet. And you can do a colonic afterwards that next day to really stimulate that liver and release any more. You may even see some stones come out in the next day or two following it.
I got to imagine that's going to have an immediate, you'd feel.
Yes. You will. I always tell people to look at their eyes before they start the liver flush, and then the day after. The whites of the eyes are bright and just so clear. And your physical and mental energy are so great, because if you remember back, I said that you convert your T4 to T3 in your liver, right, for your thyroid and metabolism.
Right.
So, and that's where your fat burning happens. So with all these stones out of your liver, your fat burning increases, your thyroid and your metabolic rate increases, and everything works a lot better.
Wow. So what's the full process when someone says, I want to start a liver detox today? How long does it take to?
A month, because you're going to do the detox powder for 2 weeks prior to starting the pills.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So.
That's really interesting. Now, so you were talking about scalar energy and these different machines that can, are we ready to look at that stuff, or is there anything else here we want to do?
No, I think we got everything.
All right, well, let's go take a look at some of that other stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the amp coil machine.
This is the amp coil. I was introduced to this literally 1 year ago. So we had talked about the Skio machine, which is a PEMF machine as well. Both of them are. And that is fantastic at diagnosing you down to your mineral balance, your hormone balance, where everything is, how your liver's functioning, how your kidneys are functioning, what your emotional state is. It can pick up if you've had a bad day, or if you're stressed, or you got in a fight with your husband.
Wow.
Or even, not this one, but the Skio machine. So this one is less diagnostic, but will tell you generally that your liver and your gallbladder are the most needed to balance back out and to come back into harmony with your body. I cannot use the word cure.
Right.
It does not diagnose, but it helps create journeys that will help heal your body. So what you do, it's based off of a Tesla technology. You speak into the iPad, and you will then it takes the frequencies from your voice and tells you if you've got parasites.
What?
If
This sounds like hocus pocus.
I know, but it works.
Well, all right.
So this is what we're going to do. When it says record, you are going to, the text is going to display, and you're going to say,
Just read what that says.
yeah, it's going to be the vowels, A, E, I, O, U.
Okay.
But what you're going to do is, when it says A, you're going to say A and hold it.
Okay.
And then it'll switch, and you keep doing that. And when it's done with the vowels, you're going to say the alphabet, and then just start counting until it says stop.
Oh, yeah.
So the more you speak, and you want it close to your face, and the louder you, not loud, but in a strong voice, the better.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hit record.
There we go.
A, E, I, O, U. Now it says, please say each letter of the alphabet and then the numbers 1 through 25 if you have the time. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Success.
Yay! So you may sound stupid and feel stupid doing this, but when you see the results, you'll do this every single day if
It was
you
very
want.
interesting how it showed a wave analysis, and so we're talking about scalar frequencies. Like, I had that in my mind when I was looking at the thing, the frequency of the voice. You don't really often see your own voice in that way.
Right, and I don't know if you want to show this
Yeah.
on the camera.
Yeah.
But so this shows your organ system, your nutritional balances, and what you need to cleanse. So let's look at your organ system. Your sensory is the number one thing that needs to be in balance,
What is that?
meaning that you've overstimulated sensory wise.
I am.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Watching too much YouTube?
It could be like when that comes up for me or my husband, it would be like we're overstimulated from the kids talking to us 1,000 million miles, or just a lot of noise, and we live under airplanes flying over us, so that could be part of it.
New York City, I'm pretty stimulated.
Yes.
All right.
Your endocrine and reproductive system, so it could be something with your hormones.
So this plus is not good.
Anything over 85 means that it needs attention. Now, there will always be something at 100. So that doesn't mean like you're off the charts with sensory. That just means that that's the number one thing that needs attention. Everything else looks good. Sometimes I look at the very bottom one, your heart and small intestine, because sometimes that means that it's so low that it's not even showing any signal. Maybe not. But if that makes sense to you, if you've got heart issues, then that might be something to...
I don't think I do. So that number is not good, 33?
It could be,
that's 33?
it could mean nothing, it could be fine. But sometimes I look at that bottom number just to see if that's something that could possibly be so low that it needs attention. In your case, I don't think that's the case.
All right.
Your nutritional profile. So antiseptic just means that's the antiseptic parts in your body needs a little boost. Honestly, your nutritional profile is very good because that's the only thing over 85.
Right.
But this tests your neurotransmitters, your minerals, the electric sensitivity, the smog, which I can't believe you haven't been in California long enough. So your hydration and electrolytes, and hormones, fatty acids, vitamins, antioxidants, your probiotics, your chemical sensitivity. All of this looks really good. Back to the nutritional, just to show you what you can look at: your nervous system, your bladder, kidneys, your mental and emotional state, your stomach and spleen and pancreas, your large intestines and lungs. Integumentary is your skin and your hair. Exocrine is just like your sweat glands, gallbladder and liver.
That's high,
immune system.
Right? 67?
No, so anything under 85,
is
you're
okay?
fine.
Oh,
yep.
Good.
So this part, the cleanse, is just if you have any viruses, bacteria, Lyme disease, parasites, that sort of candida, those things will come up under here. Anything over 85 is something to worry about. Now, what they'll do is these vitality tracks, and they won't tell you what is in it.
Yeah, what?
Because they don't want you to worry about it. It might just be an imprinted frequency in your body that just needs to be canceled out, but is not anything to worry about. It's probably some sort of microbe or virus or bacteria.
How can it tell all this from my voice?
Every organism, you, me, a fly on the wall, we all have our own frequencies. And every bug inside of us has its own frequencies. So your voice says, tells a lot of your story.
Wow.
And it's, as you saw when you were scanning yourself, it was taking the frequency at the bottom of the screen and going up and down as you were speaking.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was interesting.
So Vitality Track 37, I don't know what it is, but what you do then is you create a program to then cancel it out. But what you do have is protozoa, so that's a parasite, but that's under 85. So you're a healthy guy.
There we go.
I mean, my goodness. But when you go to what you can do on this program, this has 3 sections. You've got your organs, your nutrition, and your cleanse. And you go up to the organs, and anything over 85 is going to be something that needs attention. Now for you, sensory and endocrine reproductive are the only 2 things that really need attention in the organs department. Sensory meaning that you could be overstimulated with your senses, so it could be anything. Endocrine and reproductive, it could be that your hormones are off, it could be that your adrenals are burned out from overworking, which could be very possible for you. But this is testing your immune system, your gallbladder, liver, exocrine, which is your sweat glands and getting rid of toxins, your integumentary, which is your skin and your hair, large intestines and lungs, stomach and spleen, pancreas, your mental emotional state, your bladder and kidneys. Something interesting about the mental and emotional state is sometimes my kids will come to me and say, I've got a headache, and I don't know if it's from hormones or if it's from a bad day at school or if it's from a cold or flu. And mental and emotional will come up as the top thing. I'm thinking, okay, you go relax. You had a bad day at school. Girls weren't nice or whatever it is.
So you've observed this give results that you feel are...
Absolutely. It's been a game changer in our family. Bladder and kidneys, nervous system, small intestines. If you go to your nutritional section, like I said, you only need to worry about things that are over 85. And these are things that are out of balance. And if you see anything at 100, that's fine, because there's always going to be something at 100.
Does it go beyond 100?
No.
Oh.
No. So on you, this is the antiseptic is number 1. I'm not worried about that. And that's the only thing you have. You're a very healthy guy.
That's good.
But you've got neurotransmitters, your minerals, too much exposure to electrical sensitivity.
I can believe that.
I know.
I have 50 iPads and cameras around me at any given moment.
Right, but you're doing fine because it's at 45, not above 85. The smog, the hydration and electrolytes, the enzymes, the hormones, fatty acids, vitamins, antioxidants, flora, which is just your probiotics.
That's like my gut bacteria.
Yep.
It's good?
Yep, that's good. Chemical sensitivity. And
I know some people who are suffering from jackass the doses.
Maybe that's going to be in the upgrade.
Yeah,
Maybe that'll
exactly.
come up. Okay, so and then the last one under cleanse, it's going to come up with anything from viruses, bacteria, parasites, candida, Lyme disease. And then what it'll also do is these vitality tracks. And these are things that the company doesn't want you to know, essentially because they don't want you to freak out if it's connected to a serious
diagnostic tool
right.
that doesn't want you to freak out. The
right.
results are terrible, but you're nice.
Well, the amazing part of this machine is that the diagnostic, it doesn't diagnose.
Right.
The SCIO does a better job at diagnosing, right? But it's not as strong at correcting the problem or the imbalance. So this is correcting the imbalances in the body. It's canceling out the negative frequencies that are causing...
Is it correcting them or it's just pointing out?
Well, with the scan, it is pointing them out. But you actually can hook yourself up to the machine and then go on a journey.
Does it tell you, like, so in other words, this says microbes, metals, toxins. It looks kind of high, 99. So what does that mean? Do I have I had a mercury toxicity issue a few years ago. I haven't done a blood test in a while.
It will start detoxing you from that.
How? I don't understand.
So I'll show you in a minute.
Okay.
We're gonna coil you.
Oh wow.
Okay, so you have spirochetes, mycoplasma, chronic infections, and you can see that there's a whole bunch of roundworm would be something that might come up.
You don't sound good.
You don't have it because it's not over 85, but these are things that will come up. Fungus. So this is just a food poisoning. That's something where you say, gosh, my stomach doesn't feel good. Am I getting the stomach flu or do I have food poisoning?
That's very acute though. I've had food poisoning. You've thrown up all night.
Right. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes
really?
you can just get a little stirring of the gut, not feel great, but it not go
When I've had food poisoning, it has been, I thought I was going to die.
It can
Could not stop vomiting.
Could be severe as well.
Yeah.
So anyways, what we do then is you actually will sit back, and this would take a long time, but what you do is you just put this on you.
Where? Anywhere?
This is the coil, and it's called an amp coil because it's amplified. And there are a lot of PEMF devices out there, but this is the only one that is amplified. So what you would do is you just put it on you, either on your lower or upper. It doesn't even need to be under your shirt.
I'm trying to get the microphone out of the way because I'd almost guarantee this is going to screw up the sound, but hopefully not. Okay, so just put it here.
You just put it on you, and you just sit there. And they've got programs to do the organs, the nutrition, or the cleanse, like we talked about. But they also have ones called positivity. So if my kid comes home and they're in a bad mood, I do, and they just sit there and watch TV and relax. There's one called Relax All. There's one that is a brain reboot. If you have a big day for work the next day that you need to make sure all those neurotransmitters are firing. There's one that is just a nutritional boost that gives you an overall nutritional profile boost. But really, and there's a sleep one. Oh my gosh.
That would be good. I don't sleep very well. Is it doing it now, or we haven't turned it on?
No, we haven't turned it on.
Will I feel something from it?
You'll hear the noise come out of it a little bit, and yeah, you start to feel something, especially with the relaxation one. Most of these programs are 20 to 30 minutes long, so
we'll just demonstrate how to operate it.
But it's no one leaves this coil not feeling better than they
no
sat
one
down.
leaves this coil.
It's done amazing things. I've had friends come over. My son's teammate came over one day, and it was about a week before their big race, and he looked like he was on death's door with just a flu. And I put him on the machine, and he the next day, he's like, I don't know what your mom did to me, but I feel awesome. He had that and the silver, and it turned him around. So it's a great device. It's, you know, most of these types of devices are $20,000 to $30,000,
Wow.
like the Skio, but this is less than $8,000, and it's an in-home device.
Now, is this an item that you sell?
It's an item I sell. It's on my website, and if you are interested, you can get a demo around the country. I can connect you with someone that can give you a demo so that you know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who has one that is regretting it, and it saves a lot of money because most people that are so sick with Lyme disease or other diseases like that, they're spending hundreds of dollars.
Many doctor visits for sure. They can't even diagnose it a lot of the time.
Right. So you do, for serious things like that, you do treatments, up to 10 treatments in a cleanse, and it will cancel out whatever you're fighting.
Okay. So let's just turn it on, I guess, for a minute or something and see if I can detect any kind of...
Okay, this... Let's see here.
It's all run from the iPad. So should I like close my eyes or something?
Yeah. Let's see if it'll...
Oh, I hear it doing something, yeah.
There we go.
Oh yeah, I feel it vibrating.
Yep. So this is the Relax All. So I'm going to get you nice and relaxed for your drive later.
Yeah, right. We hear a machine over there. This is now stationary again. So it's doing what? Putting magnetism through this?
It's giving you frequencies that are going to cancel out any of the negative frequencies in your body. So
I need a few more on me.
It literally is like interlocking the exact opposite of the negative frequencies in your body and turning them and canceling them out.
Phase cancellation.
And I've been using PMF machines for 10 plus years, but they're small and nothing compared to this.
Huh.
It's the best money I've spent, and it's kept us healthier, but not just healthy, but really becoming our optimum selves.
Right. Well, that's great. I don't think we want to demonstrate for 20 minutes on here, but that's interesting to see how that works. Is there any other technology or any other supplements you wanted to talk about? I think we've covered quite a lot today.
I think we've covered I can't think of any. I don't want to overwhelm.
No, well, hey,
everybody.
I mean, it was great to meet you in person, Sarah.
Jason.
Thank you so much for all this time. And for people who are viewing who want to purchase the products, can you give them some information about how to do that?
Yes, my website, acceleratedhealthproducts.com. And if you have any questions as far as what to take and what to start with, please feel free to email me your specific issues, and I'm happy to help you with a protocol. I'm here to help. Like I mentioned earlier, I was not looking to get into business. I truly believe that this was my calling and to help others. And through the journey that I've had with my own health and my kids, it's been, I truly believe it's my purpose to share and to give back. And that's what I'm here to do.
And thank you for doing that. There's been actually quite a number of people who have emailed me and said, what is that discount code Sarah gave us?
Yes, well, there was the Light on Conspiracies 15, but there's also a new code, Goodman 15.
Wonderful.
So feel free to use that for 15% off your first order.
Yes.
And yes.
And if people want to support Ole, that Light on Conspiracies code is for him. And they can also visit lightonconspiracies.com. Ole introduced you and I. He's very interested in scalar technology, and I'm really interested to learn more about it. Thank you for taking the time today, Sarah. This has been really, really great, and good luck with Accelerated Health Products.
Thanks, Jason.